Hey friends, Lissa here for another video. So I got a request on my page, which was a really good request, to do a video all about Candida because that seems to be a huge issue for a lot of people. So I'm going to share my story and what I know about Candida, and if it can help anybody, then that's awesome. So my story, basically, I was dealing with Candida for over a decade. I went to a naturopath when I was really young and she tested me out and I was riddled with Candida. So I did an anti-Candida diet and I took a bunch of herbs and psyllium husk and bentonite clay, and I did that for months and months and months. I think it was 9 months. And I did lose a little bit of weight because I wasn't eating any sugar or processed food or anything. But I think I was 21 or 22-ish when I was doing that. And the thing is that it came back. It just came back at the end of my treatment. After a couple months, it just crept back. It was because of what I was eating, now I know, but I just couldn't get rid of it. And over the last decade, as most of you know, I worked in natural health for a really long time, so I have, all the knowledge. I tried all sorts of anti-Candida diets and pills to kill the yeast and probiotics, and yes, it would work for a little bit, but it would always come back, and again, from my diet. So when I went raw, I did have lots of Candida symptoms, tons, and I'm gonna go over that in it shortly here, but I had all of the Candida symptoms, all of them, when I went raw this time, and I was really scared too because of the high sugar in all of the fruit that I was going to be eating. But I did watch a bunch of videos and I felt okay because of the low fat thing. And I'll talk about the fat as well. Because fat keeps sugar in your bloodstream longer, and if you're not absorbing it, the yeast is gonna eat it. So the higher fat you eat, the harder it is for you to keep your yeast under control. So it's a really good idea to keep your fat very low. But anyway, so I'm gonna talk about symptoms that I had. And these are all symptoms of Candida, so if you have probably more than 3 or 4 of these, you probably have a little bit of a yeast overgrowth going on. So chronic fatigue, that's one that's huge. You're just tired all the time, lethargic, sluggish, and again, these are very similar to high fat symptoms. When I eat too high fat or eat avocados and nuts, I kind of get these symptoms. And I do believe that it's insulin resistance, and you're basically getting this influx of insulin and it's not actually putting the sugar into your cells because the fat's blocking it, but it's also feeding your yeast. So it could be a combination of both. But chronic fatigue is one of the main symptoms of Candida. Mood swings, sugar cravings, sugar crashes, again, those are also high fat symptoms. Maybe not so much the mood swings, but the sugar cravings and sugar crashes are definitely fat and yeast related. So again, lower that fat down and you can eat the fruit and your body will absorb it fast enough that the yeast doesn't have a chance to eat it. Chronic bladder infections, and in women, yeast infections. Athlete's foot is another kind of sign that you might have that. Thrush, sinus infections, and a lot of digestive issues. So gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, all of that is going on because the yeast is living in there and it's growing roots through your intestinal tract and causing leaky gut syndrome, which in turn causes allergies. So it's a really good idea to get rid of these so that you can deal with all of those other things. Brain fog is a huge one. Forgetting stuff, feeling spacey is something a lot of people will say that they feel when they have a high yeast count. Skin rashes, hives, itchy, nail fungus, those are also symptoms. And another more lesser known one is hormone imbalance. So PMS, early menopause symptoms, that kind of stuff can be linked with Candida. So anyways, so those are the symptoms, and I had all of them when I fought Candida for all of that time, but especially the day before I went raw, all of those were on the list. So I knew I had severe Candida issues, and today they're all gone, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. So treatments for Candida. What I did, and this is what I did, and you can, again, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just sharing my story. I'm not telling you what to do. But I eat very low fat, raw vegan. So all fruits, all vegetables, a small amount of nuts and seeds, and then herbs and spices. I do include garlic. I eat a lot of garlic, and that probably helped kill a lot of the Candida. And I take oregano capsules as well. You want to boost your immune system so your immune system can kill off the yeast. But another thing that you want for treatment is you want to go and grab a really good probiotic, because the probiotics are going to replace the yeast in your colon and your body. They say 70% of your immune system is in your gut. So, and it's made of your good bacteria. They're your good guys, and they fight off the bad stuff. We do need a certain small amount of Candida in our body because they do help with nutrient absorption, but we don't need the overgrowth, that's for sure, because it just causes problems. So you can do oregano oil, you can do grapefruit seed extract. There are a bunch of Candida kits and stuff on the market if you want to try that, but really the diet was what got rid of mine, along with a couple little oregano capsules here and there, and then the probiotics on top. You can do you can do raw fermented foods if you want to get some probiotics that way, like sauerkraut. I don't do kombucha, but you could, but sauerkraut's a good one. Or just grab some capsules. It's really good for immunity, and it will help kill off the yeast. So once you start doing that and you go really low fat, it'll take a little while for your body to adjust to the low fat because you'll have high fat in your bloodstream. So once you start eating more fruit, like your bananas and pineapples and apples and whatever else you're gonna have, it's going to be harder for your body to absorb that sugar in the beginning, the first little while, maybe a couple days or so, maybe a week, because you still have all that fat in your bloodstream going around. You have to let your body filter through that and absorb it and deal with all of that. So once you go really low fat, a lot of people online have really, really good success with 95-5. So as you guys know, I eat 80-10-10, 80% carbs, 10% protein, and 10% fats. But these people who are really going crazy with the Candida are doing 90% carbs from fruits and vegetables. No grains here. Fruits and vegetables, 5% protein and 5% fat. So basically they're not eating nuts or seeds or anything like that for about 3 weeks. Yes, fats are good, and I'm not anti-fat, but if you really want to hit your Candida, you would probably want to pretty much eliminate any overt fats. And overt fats means fats that you're adding, like nuts and seeds, because you're going to get 5% of your fats from your fruits and vegetables. I mean, kale is like 11 or 14% fat. Spinach is higher in fat, so that's okay fat to have because it's part of the fruits and vegetables. But just, I would personally stay away from nuts and seeds for about 2 or 3 weeks while you are killing your Candida. And then you have something called Candida die-off, which is super fun. It is basically all of your symptoms, but maybe a little bit worse. So you might break out, you might have acne. And acne is another symptom of Candida as well, which I had a horrible amount of. So your acne might get worse. You'll have flu-like symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, muscle aches and pains, headaches. Your joints might hurt. As the yeast dies, they release a toxin into your body, and your body has to deal with that. So that's another thing too that you might need to look out for. But the symptoms normally last about 10 to 14 days-ish, give or take. And then you'll be dealing with rebuilding your gut with your good bacteria, and keep on the diet and just make sure that you keep your fat low. And once you're done with Candida and your symptoms are slowly going away, then you can throw in the nuts and seeds and start getting your healthy fats again. So, yeah, so that's all I know about Candida. I mean, I've been dealing with it for a really long time, so Candida and I have like this horrible relationship, but now it's gone, and I am so happy that I don't have to deal with that anymore, because it's been a long time. So I know what it's like, I know how horrible it can be. But again, it's really easy to get rid of once you get out the bad stuff out of your diet. So no refined sugar. Sugar is okay when it's in the form of fruit and you're eating low fat. So don't worry about that. It's the refined sugar, the refined grains and all of that are going to cause more problems than not. And then keeping low fat, your kill your yeast with your oregano oil or whatever else you want to use, or you don't even need to use that. It'll just die off on its own because it has no food source. Because if your cells are absorbing the sugar from your bananas really fast because you're eating low fat, the yeast won't have time to eat it. So they're going to slowly die off because they're going to starve. And then you just replace your good bacteria with a good probiotic, and hopefully that information can help somebody out there. I did want to do a whole video on Candida because of the symptoms that I had for a really long time, and I wanted to share with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and click like if you did. Subscribe to my channel so you can get notifications for more. I'm going to be doing almost daily videos, so that will be really cool. And you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouFood, all at Raw Food Romance. Today is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. I'm going out for tea with my mama, so I might do a little bit of a video with her because she runs Raw with Passion, and she's on Facebook, so you can go follow her if you want to as well. So I'm gonna go and have some tea with my mama, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day with your family as well. So until the next video, guys, fruit on.